Hey everyone, how's it going? Adam here, bringing you some more SuperCard action. Today we've got check into Ring Domination, we'll check out what's in the store. The launch of the third Extreme Quest is today, so we'll take a look at what the requirements in that are, see how easy that is. We will be streaming later today, twitch.tv/WTM Adam. We've also got some new SuperCard news, so if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and let's do it. So we have the next week in WWE SuperCard. Last chances to get Extreme cards. Extreme Quest come to an end, and Clash of Champions makes its return. So the Clash of Champions, people have been speculating whether it'll be male or female. If the female rewards require a female deck, then I can't see it being a female Clash of Champions. However, if it's the same deck as the male rewards, then it could possibly be female rewards. I just can't see them springing a pure female event on us that requires a boost to our female cards without saying anything. Right. Speaking of next week in SuperCard as well, so it wasn't in the in-game update. SuperCard have actually tweeted out that next week the Elemental Fusions will release. Now, whether that's going to be the same as WrestleMania 36's release, where we got a bit of a fusion event for about a week and then they released officially, or if they'll just outright just come out, we don't know yet. We haven't really seen, we've seen what the fusions will look like in terms of the card design, but we haven't seen anything about what superstars are in the fusion list. So I'm looking forward to that, see if there's anyone that was missed from the base tier that should realistically be in the tier I'm looking forward to. They've also said that next week's PvP will be Elimination Chamber. We've got this new pack in the store: Breaks, Boardwalks and Beaches. So this contains one guaranteed summer card from this year, one guaranteed summer card from Season 5, and then one guaranteed summer card from Season 4. So you got the Beast up to Goliath there. It's nice. Like, they haven't really made the Season 4 summer cards available so far for this summer. I know we've had a few of Season 5's pop up in like Road to Glory and stuff like that, but the Season 4 ones were kind of kept away. 2,300 credits, I don't think is worth it, because all of these two sets of cards are useless here. You're looking for portraits there, and then it's still going to be primal up to elemental. I'd say the only ones going for this pack are the ones that are really after the portraits. If you really want them, then obviously go for it, but if you've got any elemental summer cards sat there as singles, then this is a really good opportunity to try and risk it, grab the pro kind of thing. But I'd say if you haven't, then the price is a little bit steep. You only get 5 shots at it, and even then it'll be 11,500 credits altogether for it. Extreme Rules winners cards shattered up to elemental. Anyone who won an event at Extreme Rules, 350 credits. So again, I think we went over this pack a couple of days ago. The pool, even though there's some nice cards you can get from the elemental side, the amount of winners in the other tiers is really high. So there's a bigger likelihood that you're going to end up with a low tier card than an elemental card. We've got the Extreme Rules pack is back, so Gothic up to elemental, and then anything that's Royal Rumble and above is the new Extreme cards. These are only pay-per-view participants, So there is certain cards that you can't get, like you won't be able to get a Sonya Deville, you won't be able to get Beth Phoenix, in terms of like elemental and that. So it is limited. If you want to try it, go for it, but just keep in mind, if you've like, for instance, for me, I've got a Dolph and I've got a Beth. From this pack, I can only hope to pro Dolph Ziggler. Beth Phoenix will not be in the pack because she wasn't a pay-per-view participant. And it's Friday, so we've got the Fusion Feeder pack, 375 credits. Neon up to Royal Rumble Fusion card. I mean, in preparation for the Elemental Fusions coming out, if you need a few more WrestleMania 36 ones, this could help you save some time and boost up. Right, so the Extreme Quest. So this is the third one. This one is play a game in Ring Domination or Money in the Bank 60 times. Use Pump It Up, the support card, in a match 100 times and obtain thumbtacks 15 times. So the thumbtacks remain the same. The Play the Games one, I can't remember if that was more or less. I think it was only 50 on the last one. But the Use the Support has dropped. You don't have to do the support card 150 times. It's only 100 times now. Probably the best way to do it would be Ring Domination and Money in the Bank are your best bets because you can use two supports at the same time. So equip two pumper ups and use them that way. Right, so Ring Domination, we are doing it for free. We're making our way through the King Corbin. I'm only going for the Keith Lee card. Even like the heroic side, there's nothing really that I need from it. And I know I won't be able to get the heroic shard, so I'm kind of in the mindset of it's not worth the bother. What I'll be doing instead is focusing in, after I've got the Keith Lee for the half heroic pro, I'm going to be focusing on Money in the Bank to get that Bailey. Or if I fail to get enough contracts for the Pro Bailey in time, at least then I'll be able to pick up a Pro SummerSlam 20. Because with the inclusion of the Elemental Fusion cards, it's a clear sign that we're near the end of the tier. We knew that anyway, for the simple fact that SummerSlam's in a month's time. The tier is going to drop before that. So likelihood what will happen is we'll see Clash next week. Then there might be one more event of this tier for the first 2 weeks of August, and then the tier drops. So it's looking like we are at the very end of the tier now. So there's just something I want to talk about lately, and I've seen quite a lot, especially from content creators, about how the game's dying, it's going in a bad direction. Everyone's pointing out mistakes that they think Cat Daddy are making. Everyone's unhappy with the game. But I think people need a bit of perspective. So during LMS, top 10,000 get a card, yeah? So I looked at people's accounts who weren't bothering with the event. They'd done like one arena, they got about 100 points. They were ranking about 110, 120,000. That means that there was at least, let's say, 100,000 active players in LMS. So top 10,000 makes up the top 10%, top 1,000 makes up the top 1%, so on and so forth. When you look at Twitter, even though so many people will be saying, oh, like directly tweeting on SuperCard's tweets, airing their grievances, saying how the game's going downhill. In the past month or so, the most responses that any of SuperCard's tweets have had is about 400 tweets. So that's 400 players. That's not the majority of players. That is like 400 players is like 0.4% of the active player base from the last LMS. So the idea that everyone is unhappy and everyone thinks the game is going downhill because a few hundred people and noisy on Twitter is a ridiculous notion. Even if you take all the top YouTubers in SuperCard, take their average views, you're looking at what, 20 to 30,000 viewers per video. That's still what, 20 to 30% of the player base. That is still the minority. So it's kind of the disillusion of everyone on Twitter who's talking about SuperCard. They are the player base. They're not. They are a very small minority of the player base, and it's the silent majority who are content with the game. Someone who's annoyed is much more likely to speak up about something. Someone who's just enjoying something or is fine with it isn't going to bother. They don't go out the way to like praise the game kind of thing. It just generally it doesn't happen. So I think people need to just take a step back and gain a little bit of perspective when they're talking about like, oh, the player base is going downhill, everyone's leaving the game. Yet you had an LMS event with over 100,000 people playing it. Just because there's not as many people on Twitter screaming about the game doesn't mean there's not as many players. So I do think people just need to realise numbers can be a bit misguiding at times. So if you have 500 people on Twitter screaming the game's bad, but they make up less than 1% of the players actually playing the game, is the game really bad? Or do you just have a handful of people who aren't happy? It's just something to think about. Like, I know people have got their issues with the game, that's fair enough. Nothing's ever perfect, but at the same time, I wouldn't say a game with an active player base of over 100,000 players is dead. Now, at the same time, I don't know. Realistically, it could have had 1 million on a previous LMS. I don't know. But yeah, it was just something that I wanted to talk about a little bit. So that's it for today. We're going to be streaming later tonight, twitch.tv/WTM Adam. As always, stay safe. I'll see you later. Bye.